Okay, can I hand over to the team to start their demo, please?
Sure, yeah, thank you. Hi guys, my name's Matt. Matt Hamblin. Thanks for joining us on the Oomph Wellness Breakout Room. Yeah, just following on from Lisa's introduction earlier, I'm pleased to present Oomph On Demand, a digital resource that puts activities and exercise into the hands of not only activity and wellbeing leads, but absolutely everyone within the home, whether that be care workers, activity leads, or residents. So moving into the demonstration, as you can see at the top, the platform is literally just run through our website. So it's through Oomph Wellness website. Like Lisa mentioned earlier, your home or your service would receive one password, but on that one password, you can actually access Oomph On Demand on as many devices in your setting simultaneously as you want, all at the same time, using different parts of the hub. Okay, the platform works on any mobile phone, any tablet, laptop, PC, smart televisions, Amazon Fire Sticks, basically anything that you can get onto our website on. Once you log into the platform, it brings you into this main landing page here. And as you can see at the top, there's three main categories. So we have an activity section, an exercise section, and a TV section. Now I'll do a whistle-stop tour of all of these sections, but I'll stick onto the activities just for now. So as you scroll down slightly, the first thing you'll see are these three pictures here, which are individual activities, and they all make up our rolling carousel. Now, our rolling carousel activities tend to be all of our brand spanking new activities that has just been uploaded either this week, this month, and we tend to keep these topical. So if we'd have logged on 3 weeks ago, it would have been absolutely full of Christmas stuff. You'll find over the coming weeks, it'll be full of Valentine's stuff. You get my drift. Now, I like to call this the Netflix of the activity world, and some other members of the team at Oomph like to call it the Netflix of the activity world, and this is one of the main reasons. This is our library of content. And as you can see from the bottom, there's quite a lot of pages to go through. That's because we're just touching on around the 450 different activity mark right here, right now. Now, the more people, more expert leading associations and experts that we work with, and the more content we create, the more and more content is uploaded. So we're more or less uploading new content on a daily, weekly basis. To help you navigate around the site, we've got a nice search function here. So you can literally click on here, and if it was Frank in room 20, for example, that loved any activities to do with flowers, you could type in flowers. It brings up all of our activities related to flowers. As you can see, there's 16 results found there. We also have a nice filterable function on the left-hand side, as you can see here. So you can actually search the activities via the wellbeing benefit. So does that activity stimulate the body, stimulate the mind, or stimulate the soul? And you can also filter by different activity topics. Just to quickly show you what one of these activities looks like, all you literally have to do is click on the box and it brings up this. It's a recipe card on how to deliver that particular activity. So we give you a brief introduction as to what it's about, what you'll need in terms of resources, and the instructions to be able to run that activity. Okay. Now, if anyone's sat there, or if anyone's listening to the recording worried about Wi-Fi, around 95% of the content on the whole platform is printable. So you can actually click this button here, press print, and you've got the exact same activity just as a piece of paper. Okay. Moving back onto the main body of the platform, just to show you some of the most popular features, and we've highlighted them here in the pink and purple buttons, one being our activity calendar. So our activity calendar is based around the national days. So I'm sure everyone's aware there's a national day for absolutely everything nowadays. And a lot of homes and service providers and services already do this information, or it's easy to find on Google. So why purchase Oomph On Demand? Well, not only do we tell you that it's World Religion Day on the 16th of January, but if you actually click into that, it gives you a brief description as to what World Religions Day is all about. But there's actually 6 or 7 activities that are specifically linked to that day. And this is the same for every day of the year. Okay, we actually work 2 or 3 months ahead of anyone using the platform. So as you can see, we've got the whole of January there as an interactive calendar, the whole of February, and March, April will be uploaded by the end of this month. Okay. Just moving back, just to show some other features, and moving over slightly to the most popular part of the platform, and that's our activity books. Our activity books are a monthly resource, so a brand new one every month that we produce as a advanced level and or as a foundation level. And what the activity books are a plethora of word searches, crosswords, puzzles, Sudoku, colouring in, topics of conversation, you name it. It's a full activity resource pack that's anywhere between 20 and 80 pages long. But because these have been so popular, we've actually ran away with this idea a little bit, and we've created a whole library of these, probably around 150 of these and growing on a weekly basis. And these cover anything from special occasions, likes, hobbies, interests, national days, national holidays, you name it. We've created an activity book to cover absolutely every single member, every resident or service user within your home or service. Okay. Moving back slightly onto the next section, we have our very own Oomph reminiscence newspapers that we like to call the Oomph Digest. So it's a reminiscence newspaper based on historical events that have happened on this day in years gone by. This is a weekly resource, so a brand new one every single week. Great to print off and leave around the homes. But we also, as well as a weekly edition, we also bring out special editions, again, to ensure that we can person-centre activities. We base these around likes, hobbies and interests. So do you have any residents into Frank Sinatra or travel or Charles Darwin, wildlife, aeroplanes? Good one there for us is there's a Yorkshire one there, cats, just to name a few. Okay. And then last but not least, on the activity section of the hub, we have a whole section dedicated to quizzes and puzzles. So the quizzes and puzzles range from all levels of ability. There's some really easy stuff and some really quite challenging stuff, all ready to print off in your own time and use as normal quizzes or normal puzzles, again updated on a regular basis. But if you were to actually run these through the hub, they actually become interactive. So just clicking on one of the quizzes, let's click on British TV quiz. So imagine you're in a lounge area on a giant screen or a cinema screen, and you had a group of residents or service users in an area. Not only do we ask the question and give the answer, but upon giving you the answer, we give you a nice topic of conversation and a fun fact, in this instance about Coronation Street. But here is the link to the first ever episode of Coronation Street on YouTube. So all of a sudden it turns a 10-minute question and answer quiz into an hour-long quiz stroke reminiscence stroke discussion. So something a little bit different. Now moving over to the next section of the hub, which is exercise. Now, this is perfect for any of you guys that have got lots of exercise going on in your homes, but equally, if you don't have as much exercise going on as what you maybe should, this is perfect for you too. So we still have the library of content down here. So there's around 280 different exercise videos on here. We have seated exercises, standing and progressive. We've got short mini videos and long videos. So again, something for absolutely everyone. Again, we've made them filterable. So it might be residents might be into dancing. We've got videos here based around ballet, can-can, cha-cha jive, salsa. We've even got Bollywood dancing. But if that wasn't your thing, we've got some stuff based around relax. So we've got guided meditation, yoga, tai chi, qigong. We've got mindfulness, breathing techniques. We've even got laughter yoga. And like Lisa mentioned in the introduction, we work with lots of national and governing bodies of sport, from UK archery to the Football FA to England Cricket Board, Boccia England and UK volleyball, to create lots of sport-based content as well. Now, these are not videos, these are printable games and drills, but it teaches and upskills the staff how to deliver different sports sessions. We've also worked with Arthritis Action to create exercise session planners. So if you've got anyone in your homes delivering exercise, that's great. But these will support them and a great resource to support them, ensuring that they keep their sessions person-centered, that they're fun, creative, and a little bit different. So they're not the same routines week in, week out. Okay. Also, as well, in partnership with Arthritis Action, we've actually created some pre-recorded some short exercise videos, very much like your Joe Wicks style YouTube videos, but rather for children, for people, older people and people living with dementia. So these are designed purposely to last just the length of one popular song. So these are only 4 or 5 minutes long, but perfect for any residents that might have a shorter attention span than others. But if you prefer longer exercise sessions, that moves me over nicely to Oomph TV, and in my opinion, the most exciting part to this. The reason why I say that is that the activities and exercise is very much staff-led, but what we've found with Oomph TV is it can be very much resident-led. Why have This Morning or Jerry Mikhail up on the TV when you can have educational and follow-along videos with Oomph on demand? But scrolling down slightly, we have a live TV schedule. So we currently run 2 live exercise classes every single week. Okay, these are really fun, really creative, and we always theme these. So last week they were Christmas themed, the week before they was Dirty Dancing themed, the week before that they were Motown themed. Okay, and if you've read on a little bit, as you can see, we actually dipping our toes into the water of live Qigong sessions, and we're looking at live nighttime relaxation sessions as well. But don't worry if you miss any of the live stuff, guys, because we do record them and archive in our Oomph TV archive. Now, this is my second reference to Netflix, because this is our bank of over 250 different videos that are totally exclusive to Oomph, created in partnership with leading associations and experts. Just to give you a bit of a flavour on some of the experts and associations that we work with. You might have heard of a few of these, but we work with Creation Station to bring lots of activity arts and crafts based videos. We work with Lingo Flamingo, who specialise in language lessons for people living with dementia. We've got gardening shows. We've also got one of the UK's leading art therapists who helps residents draw different sea creatures, animals and dragons. We've got cooking and baking stuff on here and lots more activity arts and crafts. Also on here, we've got an arts and culture section. So we've got poetry reading, storytelling, we've got comedy nights. We've got history partners, from History Hit to guys that dress up as famous historical characters to do history talks and quizzes. Really educational pieces there. We've got music content, so singers are not coming into care homes at the minute, so we can bring them to you. So we've got acoustic guitar sessions, our live sessions that have been uploaded. We've got intergenerational music sessions and even musical sing-along quizzes. Okay, and then last but not least, we can take residents on holiday from their own homes. We've got virtual reality tours and drone tours of Scotland's waterfalls and beaches. But if you fancied going a bit further afield, we've actually got videos on New Zealand's west coast. Now, before I end there, that is Oomph on demand, but before I end the presentation and open up the floor, I've actually got one extra thing to show you. Now, we actually have a steering group feeding us information in terms of the direction of travel in Oomph on demand. And one of the tasks that they set us was to how do we turn Oomph on demand from a nice to have for people like yourselves into a must have. And a way that we've done that is implemented a new review system, an impact reporting system. So on every single activity, you'll see a little review me now button. Now, we appreciate that staff don't have a lot of time at the minute, but this literally only takes 20 or 30 seconds. But the staff can document when a session took place, how many people participated for, how long their session was. They can document using a 5-star rating their engagement of the residents during that session, tell us a little bit about how it went, tell us about the quality of the content, okay, but more importantly, the wellbeing outcomes. Using a 5-star rating, were them residents mentally or intellectually stimulated during that session, physically stimulated or emotionally, and then they would submit that. Now, literally only 20-30 seconds, but the amount of data that you get from that is quite remarkable. So anyone from senior management in a care group or any home manager would be able to log on, see the usage report. They can select a data range. They can delve down deeper into the different aspects of the content. You have an overview dashboard of their engagement, but you also have access to all these bar graphs, pie charts, which hopefully you'll agree is fantastic evidence in not only for CQC, because it's not always about them all the time, but for residents, families and relatives. Okay, what we're looking to do with this as well to help drive engagement on these reviews is gamifying it. Some of you might be aware of Fitbit, that you get a Fitbit, you get trophies and certificates for certain milestones. Well, that's what we're looking to implement as well to help drive engagement throughout the home. Thanks, guys. That's Oomph on Demand.
Thanks so much for that. That was absolutely, I'm almost overwhelmed. There was so many different options there. If anybody's got a specific question, if they'd like to put their hand up, I've certainly got some questions, or put something in the chat. While I wait for the question to come in, I'll ask my question. I really liked the review stuff you've just showed, because I think that's a really useful piece of documentation. Like you say, you can use it for family members, for CQC. What I wanted to ask was that will be individualized to that particular organisation. So I'm just wondering about, so for example, if I was looking and I'd be going, oh, what do I plan for next week?
Yeah.
I'd almost be overwhelmed by the choice.
Yeah.
So do you have, and I'm thinking moving from Netflix to Amazon, do you have like, these are the things that have been rated 5-star?
So yeah, it's a really good question, Jane. Thank you. Sorry, Matt.
No, go for it, Lise.
Yeah, so that's a piece of functionality that we're actually working on now. Okay. So obviously, it's a step forward that people can actually rate, their experience. But then equally, yes, we then want to be able to pull that through so that effectively you can get, the 5 stars, the 4 stars, and actually how meaningful that is across all of our clients. So I think then you'll be able to then search by, what's 5-star rated, and then be able to filter even more efficiently. So that is coming soon. But you can also search by your favorites as well. So there is a favorites where you can put in things that you've looked at and planning for the next week. So you can put those into a separate favorites section and then come back to that and then go straight back to where. So you haven't got to search again. So that does sort of drive sort of efficiency there.
In the TV section as well, there is a rolling carousel that I had to skip through because of time, but there is a rolling carousel to see which videos are most popular throughout all of our clients. So yeah, that comes up on the top search bar as well.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking some care providers working with particular client groups would be interested in particular resources rather than sort of testing them all out, really. Thank you. That's really helpful.
Problem.
Is anybody else?
Oh yeah, we've got one. There's one in the chat.
There's one in the chat from Cassandra. Does it have an ongoing commitment and cost?
Yes. So do you want me to jump in here, Matt? Yeah, so it basically works out, it's a per license if it's a home or whether it's a sheltered housing site. So it's one license, one site. It works out at £25 a week, but that's for unlimited access for as many people from that site who want to log into it on any device. And you have, I think as Matt said earlier, very simple, that you have one login, one password. And so that cost will cover you for everybody. So if you've got a number of different floors and different care teams, they can all be using that at the same time, accessing different content. So we've generally found for a lot of research that that's an accessible price point and makes it very available to many people to benefit, if that answers that question.
Just on the costing as well, what we've found, we work with a lot of providers, especially ops teams and ops directors, who always feed back the same information, that before we launched Oomph On Demand, we did some work into a typical activity coordinator's day. They actually spend 75% of their time planning and 25% of their time delivering activities. Whereas a system like this will completely flip that on its head and leave the activity coordinators doing what they do best, and that is spending time with residents. So if you're looking at it operationally, the time it will save staff members searching on Google, quizzes, newspapers, it takes all that. So it basically pays for itself. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Thank you. And then, so I think there's one there for you around the SCIP fund and what it will cover.
Yeah, so within SCIP we can pay for subscription charges and things. So a lot of the systems now obviously you don't get a product, you get a subscription to it. So we've accepted that, and we do pay for subscriptions. Like I said, we can fit that within our grant funding. So the average is 7,400. We can go above that in extreme circumstances if there's something that you really need that's really going to benefit an awful lot of service users and is going to have a massive impact, and you write a really good application form, then you may get it agreed. For those that benefit a few and is below, then it's less of a problem because we're less strict with it, and it doesn't have to go to the panel. So we are quite fairly open to most things, really. As you'll see by this event and the ones coming up, we're welcoming an awful lot of different tech ideas. So we're open to anything.
Could I just ask? I know Rachel's got a question, but can I just ask one following on from that? Could they apply for a grant, say for a 2 or 3 year subscription? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if you said there was a 3-year, 4-year subscription that was going to be £7,400, then you would just apply for £7,400 for a 4-year subscription.
Yeah. Okay. Just some quick maths for everyone on the call. Lisa mentioned it's £25 a week. So our normal contracts, our lowest contracts are a 12-month. So you're talking it's only 1,300 for the year. So you could apply for 1,300, you could apply for 2,600 to give you 2 years subscription. Okay.
Sorry, just to add in, the other thing that Dorothy had said obviously was about in the questions earlier, for those that maybe missed it, was the fact that if there is a product that is a prerequisite, we would fund the prerequisite and then a product. So if, for example, if somebody in a care home wanted this product but maybe didn't have the technology to run that product, so they needed a laptop or a tablet or a larger screen or something, then so long as it's a prerequisite for the program, we can then fund that as well. So it might be that if need be, you could get a bigger TV or a bigger screen or something to run that, and then the subscription for this.
Lovely.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, sorry, it's Rachel. I've just got a quick question for you. So our service is for people with learning disabilities. So obviously we have some quite young people here. We're a care home for 13 people, but we also have what we call the cabin, which is a porter cabin where we do have like a day service that comes in. So, you know, yesterday I was printing off everything for healthy eating and whatnot. So it would be good to be able to have something like that. I just want to ask around the images of the people that are on there and the photographs. Is there anybody on that material that has a learning disability? Because, you know, if we're working with people that are 20 or 30 and then they're shown an app and it's got more older people on straight away, they assume that, you know, that's for older people and not for them. So I just wondered really what the sort of, you know, the material is like in terms of, you know, I've seen lots of older people you know, playing the games and doing things. Is there any images of people with learning disabilities or younger people with needs, associated needs on the site?
Rachel, that's a really good question. The honest answer to that to currently, sort of primary focus when we launched it was very much older adults. So that will come through in terms of the imagery and the primary content. But we are looking at a number of different iterations of the platform, and one of which is very much focusing on learning disability. And I know, Matt, you're in a number of conversations with large groups for LD at the moment. And naturally, then we will be looking at a bespoke, tailored version that will be not just for the imagery, but also even more tailored content as well. I think some of the content on there would be appropriate, but some would not. Obviously, because of the age differences.
Yeah, some of our ladies and gents are brilliant at Makaton and signing and things like that. And the word searches, and it is about finding something for us that meets. Yes, we've got people that absolutely are aging here, but also we have a much younger client group in their like 20s and 30s, and they don't want to be associated with doing things that older people would do, like their moms and grandparents.
Yeah, no, understood. So yes, it's in the planning, definitely, but not currently, as in what you've seen today. So
that's great. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. I think there was another quick question, which is, so it's only a weekly cost. There are no startup costs.
No other additional hidden costs. I mean, obviously, it's reliant on you. I think, as Victoria, you mentioned, you having your own equipment. So whether that's your smart TV, your tablets, your laptop, but that would be. But from our perspective, it's purely paying for the content and for the license. There's no other costs that we would be charging.
Thank you for clarifying that. Has anybody else got any other questions for Matt or Lisa? I'm just checking the chat. Oh, I can see there's a question coming in. It's like that thing when you have a text and you can see the little type and you're like, what's happening?
Sorry, Jen, that was me just typing back to Cassandra House. She's asked about if they could possibly have a pet that would join up as the product. Unfortunately, because you don't need a pet to run this system, we wouldn't be able to fund two different products. Like I said, we would be able to fund some sort of technology to run this system if you needed that, but we wouldn't be able to fund a pet alongside that.
Thanks for clarifying that. Let's just have a look. Rachel, I think you've still got your hand up. Is just an old hand up?
Yes, it's an old hand. I'll just put my hand down.
So if there's no further questions, I'd just like to say thanks to Lisa and Matt for sharing that. I know it was a whistle-tops tour through all the technology. There'll be more information available on the products, and we will share the recording if you want to go back and look. You can also look on their website. You'll find lots of really useful information there. Any questions for the SCIP East Riding team about the grants? You can contact them. We've shared the email earlier. And again, any questions around the evaluation that we're conducting at the university as the partners for this project, we're happy to take any questions about that. But take some time, investigate what your options are and what will most benefit your staff, your residents, your families, your carers. But this looks like a really exciting opportunity for involving people in lots of different activities. And I love Oomph TV. I thought that was a really nice little way of sort of collating all that information in one place, because, as you say, staff spend so much time in sourcing all this information and external providers, and it's really great to have it all in one area. So what I'll do, obviously we're not going back into sort of the main session now, so I will ask people to leave. Lisa, Matt, Vicky, can you just hang on for a minute?
Of course. And Jane, I'm just going to say that if anybody who's attended today wants a sort of follow-up demo with their wider team, we'd be very happy to do that sort of outside of this forum. If they just like to learn more, see more with their team members, we'd be more than happy to do so.
Okay. I think people are leaving. I think there's a few people external to the team. If you'd like to leave the chat now, thanks for your time. There we go.
There we go.
I've just evicted them.
Yeah.
The nicest way possible.
You've got the power, haven't you? Again, just wanted to say thanks ever so much, Lisa, that it was, and I think particularly the offer of sort of, because again, representatives from an organisation will be there, but they'll probably do want to go and talk to their wider organisation and team.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really nice kind of offer at the end of that. Have you got any questions for us about sort of next steps?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that, I suppose, really, what is the next steps in terms of, will sort of all the recordings from today presumably be circulated to all delegates, and any delegates maybe who couldn't attend today? So, and I guess what happens beyond that?
Yes. Sorry.
We've got funding for 74 grants, and we've got 13 that we've awarded. So there's an awful lot more to go through.
Yeah.
So I shall expect we'll be speaking to a lot of people. We aim to get the last of the grant funding out by September, so we've got a busy 9 months to get a lot of money out. So what we'll do, the recordings that have taken place today, we'll share with all the attendees. We'll also hold them on our repository that the university have created, so that anybody that wants to go and see anything can go and have a look on there. And as I said in our East Riding part of the presentation earlier, we have meetings with these providers throughout, and one of the first ones we have is to identify the need that the organisation has. So it's at that point that they'll be then pointed in the direction of yourselves and the repository and all sorts of other areas that they can go and look at and get some more information about. So it might be that the university getting in touch with you as a sort of go-between, to maybe put you in touch with other people. But it will sort of drip feeding over the next 9 months.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. No, and I know I supplied to Catherine all the information she'd asked for your platform. So in terms of videos, background logos, etc. So if there's anything else, just let us know.
Yeah, perfect.
Will there be any more opportunities to present, guys? Because obviously I appreciate there's quite a lot of organisations that you're sending all this information to, but I mean, our product is more one. I'm sure you've just seen that it's much more visual. You need to see it to know what it's about. So is there any more opportunities to present?
I think we're looking at that at the moment. I mean, obviously we've got a number of events over the next, I'm losing track of the days. So the next sort of month or so, sort of pull together. But then I think we're going to review that, because as you said, we all know now is quite a challenging time.
Yeah.
For people, and hopefully what they'll do is, and we'll keep pushing this information out through the repository and through our meetings with care providers, and through, obviously, East Riding will be doing the same through their networks. And if but we will be using the feedback from them. If there's more interest, then we will be looking at doing other events around that. And I mean, I think now we've got the first, well, you're the guinea pig event, I suppose. Yeah. I think those, there'll be lots more opportunities for that. And like I said, but we are hoping to get all the grants issued by September, allowing for the evaluation around that as well.
Fantastic. No, that's great. No, that's really good, and we're delighted to be part of the programme. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let us know if there's anything else you need us from us. So
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, I shall enjoy the rest of your day. I think
Yes,
there's still
spend
some
time.
daylight
Yeah.
if you need to get away from the screen for a little bit. But thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thanks
No
so much,
problem.
guys, and
Thanks,
speak soon.
ladies.
Speak
Bye-bye.
to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.